Hey, hello guys, and welcome to our second lesson. Lesson number 2, Java variables and data types. So as the last lesson, I made a few presentation slides to help to aid us on going forward, or to guide us on where to, so that we won't forget anything or miss anything. So today we'll be dealing with or we'll be learning on Java variables and data types. And without wasting my time, let's get straight to it. We'll first of all start with data types and variables, because so that when you deal with variables, we have to know. I feel we have to know what a data type is first of all, because a variable is made of data types and the name of that data type. Data types classify different values to be stored in a variable. And in Java, we have two types of data types, which are the primitive data types and the non-primitive data types. As you can see here on this diagram here, I got it from this website, this URL here. Just to aid us on explaining what data types are. We have primitive data types and non-primitive data types. Primitive data types are 8 in number, and non-primitive data types we have this here. Other like string and arrays, vectors, you name them. You will see more of the non-primitive data types as we go, but the most important data types are the primitive data types, which are the Boolean, char, integer data types, including byte, short, integer, long, and floating point data types, which is the float and the double. One other thing you may want to know is that primitive data types are predefined and available within the Java language, and they do not share state with other primitive values. As I've already explained in the previous slide, these are the primitive data types. You may see them clearly here. This one is here, the byte, the short, int, and the long, and the integer types, data types. And this one, the byte here is the smallest, short is bigger than the byte, and the int is bigger than short. The biggest integer type is long. And we also have the other the next two, the float and the double. These are the floating data type. In simple forms, we may call them the decimal point, or what can I say? Basically the decimal point. And we also have the char, or the car, which this is just simply a character, like any letter of the alphabet, or even a number can be a car or a char. Then we have the last one here, which is the Boolean data type. This is either true or false. In all cases, you'll find that data type, the boolean data type is either true or is either false. Okay, now we are done with the data types. We'll just shoot straight to variables. Oh, even here I made a mistake here. Supposed to be variables here. I will share a link to these slides here and on the description of the video. A variable can be thought as a container which holds values for you, or a value for you during the life of a program. Every variable is assigned a data type which designates the type and the quantity of value it can hold. In order to use a variable in a Java, you need to perform this simple 2 steps: variable declaration and variable initialization. Yeah, so here in the slide here we're showing a variable declaration and variable declaration of a variable called count. This side here, this int here, is the type of the variable. It is a must that you specify the data type and give the variable a unique name. You cannot give you cannot duplicate this name for any other variable or any other object. Other types of value declarations are like we mentioned in the previously, in data types. We have float, double, char, all that. So to make this easier for you, let's go to our text editor, JGrasp, so that you see or you visualize what we're talking about. So now I'll open my terminal and launch JGrasp. It will just take a second and it will open. Oh yeah, here is our last code for the first lesson. So let's create another class here. Let me quickly create a class here, public class. What can we name it? Let me just say lesson 2. Lesson 2, just lesson. Open braces, close braces. Yeah, so what we are talking about here, let's declare our variable here, count. Int count. Okay, now here we've declared our variable called count. As you can see here, the data type is a keyword, so hence it will be a different color. Even here we have another keyword here, public and class. Yeah, that's how Java differentiate or helps you to differentiate between the keywords and other words that you may use in your program. So other valid declaration types, we may declare other variables like int, what can I say, or a, terminate. Note that any other statement, all the statements of Java, all Java statement needs to be terminated. That is to say, you have to put a semicolon at the end to tell the Java compiler that you have finished with that statement. This is a statement like on its own. This declaration here is just a statement. So here, what I did, I declared 3 variables in one line, variable A, B, and C. Instead of saying int A, then terminate int B, terminate int C, and terminate, you can simply do this. Alternatively, you can also just do like this, B, C, and remove this. This is basically the same thing. So other valid declarations, you can declare something like a float, and you say pi. You can declare double, and we name it D, char, name it you can see we cannot use the names that you already used for the other variables, so we may call it ch. So here we've declared our variables. Now the other important thing to do is to initialize our variables. You can initialize we mean that you give a value to that variable. You can directly declare and initialize a variable here, or you can initialize the variable later on another later on down your code, or in another method, or anyway. Like here, let's initialize this char variable and give it what can I give it? V. Let me just call it as V. Now here we've declared and initialized our variable ch, gave it the value V. Note that with char variables you have to use single what do you call this little thing, single code, unlike a double code. Yeah, so for non-primitive data types, we have non-primitive data types like string. You can also declare it here, saying like this. We declared that our string here and give it the name. Now to initialize it, can give it the value what can you see, or John. Note that with a string you have to use the double quotes, and for a char you use just simple single quotes. And you can also initialize our let's say we initialize count in here and give it the value 0. We have initialized it. And what else can we initialize? We can initialize also pi, our float variable here, pi. Let's initialize it with and give it the value 3.14, like that. I hope we are all in the same we are in the same platform as for now so far. Note that there are different types of variables. There are three basically. We have the local variables, instance variables, and static variables. So this one here we've declared here, we call them local, we call them instance variables because they are instances of our class here, lesson. And local variables are variables that are declared inside the body of a method. Where as I've said, instance variables are defined also they are defined within a class, and they are defined without the static keyword. They are also defined outside a method declaration. And in some other books or some other people, you will hear that they are said to be object specific. This means to say they are specific to a particular object. Lastly, we have static variables. Static variables are initialized only once, and at the start of the program execution, these variables should be initialized first before the initialization of any instance variables. So let's try to make this more understandable in our code here. Like we have here, let me remove this for now. So let me just do the declaration. So this here are the this here on top, they are the instance variables. Then we have now let's make static variables. Let me just do them static variables here on top. Note that the static variables are declared with the static keyword. Static and a1. This here is our static variable. Note that this what I'm doing here, I'm actually just writing a comment in Java. You use two double forward slashes, then you write whatever that you want to write, just to help or to aid you in remembering what you were trying to do on your code there. The comments are not compiled. When the compiler just comes, it just ignores them and carry on with other tasks. Then now let's declare our local variable, because we already have the static variable and the instance variable. As I said, local variables are variables that are declared inside a body of a method. So we need to create a method here. Let me just say void method. Close. Int b1. So this here is our local variable. let me just narrow down all these things so that we understand better. Then and let me just initialize everything. I'll use the simple just simple variable so that our code will be a bit clean, and you'll be able to visualize and understand everything clearly. As you can see here, we have a static variable called a1, and we have our instance variable called count, and we have our local variable here in our local method called p1. So that is it about variables. You have to understand the type of variable that you are using, or that you are declaring. Note that there is one other important thing on variables. It is called variable typecasting or variable type conversion. So let's do that on our code. What this means is that a variable of one type can receive the value of another type. I will try explaining this on two cases. Case number one, we'll use a variable of smaller capacity and assign it to another variable of bigger capacity. And that this process is known as automatic conversion. You can also name it the non-explicit conversion. Let me do this so that we may understand better. So we'll just use or just to add on here, let me add another variable here of type double and call it d. Then we go here in our method and we assigned, let me give our count here 10. Then we go here on our variable and assign d and assign count to d. This process is automatic, and non-explicit is known as a conversion. This is basically a conversion. Let me just comment here, non-explicit conversion. The case number 2, the second case, we find that we have a variable of larger capacity is being assigned to another variable of smaller capacity. Like for example, doing vice versa of what we have been doing here, assigning our double variable to our int variable. A double is bigger than an int, so that's basically what this means. So let me declare another two variables, int num1, and give it 5, then double oh sorry, D2, and let me just let me just give this one 5 and don't initialize this one. So we'll initialize our num1 here. So it's num1, we'll say num1 assigned D2. This here will throw an error that let me just save and compile everything so that you see everything of what the effects of what of doing what. You see, here's our error here: incompatible type, possible lossy conversion from double to int. I don't know if you can see clearly here this error. It means that you cannot try to convert a double into an integer. So what we need to do now is use the typecast operator. Typecast operator, let me just do it so that you see here, and like this. Now we have solved that error. Let's try to compile and see if you'll get the same error. See, now everything compiled well. So in such cases you have to explicitly specify the typecast operator. This process is known as typecasting. In case you don't specify the typecasting operator, the compiler will give the same error as the one that we saw here. This error here, incompatible types. Since this rule is enforced by the compiler, it makes the developer aware that the conversion he or she is about to do may cause some loss in data and prevent accidental losses. Okay guys, now that's the end of our lesson for now. Look forward to our next lesson, which will be about objects. So just to mention one other thing, if you note that if you compile your Java class or Java code your program, the compiler automatically will create a .class file. Like here our file is called lesson.java. So upon compiling, this file here will be created. This is the file that will be executed, that the processor will actually understand better, or the JVM will understand better. Let me just try opening to see. Oops, you can't open it. Wanted to show you how to look. Yeah, basically this is how it looks. You won't understand anything from it. I won't even myself won't understand, but this is what the compiler understands. So guys, see you on the next lesson. Thank you.